Live and direct from the beautiful city of Utica, New York. Haha, I just looked at the radio announcer voice. No, what's good, everybody? It's EC Radio Time, also known as the House Arrest Podcast. We're live on all Disruption Network social media platforms. You can follow along at disruptionnetwork.net when it's all said and done. Before we get into anything, much love to the sponsors. Huge shout out to my boy Eddie Alsheimer and his crew over at EJA Moving Services. The professional movers, when you're ready to move and relocate, when it's time to move the hell out of the United States, have Eddie move you out of the United States. EJAmoving.com. You can hit him up for more information. The guy's a logistics guy, and he'll do whatever it is to get you to wherever you need to be. Also, big shout out to Utica Coffee. My good friends over at Saranac, big ups to David Call, too, for leaving a couple cases of the green teas for me the other day. And in fact, I'm already out of them, Damon, so my alcoholic self could use a couple more of those green teas. So send them over to me if you could. Big love over at Saranac, saranac.com. And if you need legal help, call my good friend, attorney Dave Longaretta at 315-735-6162. Dave's been keeping me out of trouble since like the 90s or whatever. So on today's show, I'm super pumped, man, because I've been wanting to do this for a while. This amazing, talented drummer. Her accolades go from Ivan Neville to Beyonce to freaking Nikki and the Homies, Sam Kinninger, the Bellamy's. I mean, the list goes on and on. Nikki Glaspie with me today, my good friend. Let me see that smile, girl. I miss that face.
What's up?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Nikki, thanks for taking time out to talk to me, girl. It's good to see you.
Man, definitely. Good to see you, too.
Now, we go back a little bit, and the first time I think you played the EC, you were, how old were you when we first met? Do you remember?
I don't. I want to say it was 2003, maybe?
Yeah, it was.
So I would have been, I'm like, what year is it? 19 or 20.
Yeah, for sure. I remember, now let's get a little bit into your backstory, because I've known you since you were 19 and on, but I don't know you from before 19. So, yeah. You were going to Berkeley at the time. Is that how, Sam and all them caught up with you?
Yep, I was going to Berkeley, and I met Sam in Wally's, which is a club, down the street from Berkeley that's, it's like a cesspool for musicians. Everybody, from, jazz greats and, funk greats and, a lot of people that play in pop bands right now, came from that club or started in that club. And it's the capacity of that club is probably 50 people, something like that. It's a very, very small club. But that's where I met Sam, and that's where I met all the Lettuce guys and a lot of other cats, So
you guys just going in and out of doing open mic nights and whatnot at Wally's? Was that the open mic spot?
It was 7 nights a week. It was 7 nights a week, and it was always music, right? Always a live band. So, Mondays was blues. Tuesday was, funk fusion. Wednesday was Latin funk. Thursday was Cuban Latin jazz. And then Friday and Saturday was, straight ahead swing. And then Sunday was, funk fusion. So it was it was a rotating cast of bands in the club every week, So at one point, I think the first band that I joined was the Sunday night band, and Aaron Bellamy was in that band.
Shout out Aaron Bellamy.
Shout out to Aaron Bellamy.
And Amy.
That's I guess I feel like I might have met Sam on a Tuesday though. Because there was different, cats on different days. So, but there was some overlapping that was happening, because it was similar music on Sundays and Tuesdays and eventually Wednesdays. But, it was just Mark Kelly, he was playing bass. He was he's the bassist in the Roots now, and Charles Haynes was playing drums. And he's played for everybody, anybody you can think of. Michelle Deggiocello, Lady Gaga, and this person and that person and whatever. But basically, it was a place where we could all go and play. and that's where I met Sam. And then he asked me to play on his album. Then I played on his album, and then eventually we started touring. So I'm pretty sure we started touring in it's like 2002, 2003, something like that.
And you're going to classes in between all that?
Yeah, I mean, barely.
Now, did you graduate from there?
I wasn't really going to classes. Yes, I was enrolled in college.
They always say the great ones never graduate from Berkeley, right?
Yeah, I mean, they say it's a Berkeley curse. Like, if you graduate, then you end up delivering dominoes or whatever. But I mean, I have graduated from Berkeley and are doing great things. So it's just a myth.
Yeah, it's just a myth.
Berkeley is like a trade school, like you go there and you get what you need, and then you go and do your job,
Yeah. So that's like right around 2003 that we met. So 2003, you're playing at the electric company. So I was definitely contributing to a minor at the time, huh?
Oh yeah, fully. Yep.
Oh, for sure.
I turned 21 in December of 2004. So
yeah. And I totally remember that. And you just knew, because Nikki, when you were there was just something about your playing that you just stood out above everybody else. I think it was the energy and the excitement. You always look like that little happy dog running around the backyard for the first time when you're behind that kit. You're just so, you're excited. You're in your groove.
We're excited. Always. I've always been excited to play drums, and I still am,
Mm-hmm. So during this quarantine, have you been playing a lot? You've been writing a lot? What have you been doing during this whole lockdown shit?
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing more bass and guitar actually than drums, just because I have the opportunity to do that. So, but I am playing drums. I touch them at least once a day. There's never really a day that goes by that I don't touch them. It's because it's my baby. That's my first love. But writing and reading a lot, just because education is power, and that's what we need right now, especially
absolutely
through it's like crazy, but people need to educate themselves, so that's what I'm trying to do.
Absolutely, 100%. Is it crazy down there in Austin right now? As far as there's no rioting or looting going on there, is there?
There was a protest downtown the other day, but I don't think it got out of hand. But I'm where I am, I'm too old for that. I can't, because of the color of my skin, I can't go out there and risk being hurt, because that's what's happening. In all honesty, people are going out there, they're getting arrested, and they're getting hurt. They get beat up, and they're getting tear gas, and they're getting pepper sprayed, and arms are being broken, and people are getting hurt. So I'm deciding to protest in a different way, with my mind. So I'm not I don't really know exactly how crazy it got down there, but I mean, it's getting crazy everywhere, It's
important to protest with your mind, and also through conversation as well. It's super important to have open discussions, and especially with people that don't see the same opinion as you, because there's so many negative people out there that just really need to wake up and evolve, and that's what it has. It's grow, it's lack of growth.
It's lack of growth, and I mean, I always I've said this forever, ignorant people come in all colors, shapes, and sizes.
Indeed.
Really, that's what it comes down to. It comes down to misinformation and miscommunication. Because if people really honestly sit down and talk really openly, talk about their feelings and their opinions, then we could get somewhere. Because that's all it is. Oh, I didn't know you felt that way. That's terrible. I would never want to do anything to make you feel that way. It's it's as simple as that, because a lot of people don't even know that they're doing it.
just a matter of respect for one another. But the problem is too, like you said, lack of communication. It's like, but the powers that be are constantly at button heads with each other, and they can never compromise on anything, and that trickles down into society. So that's the disgusting part about it. When you got the leaders of this country acting like high school people, they're acting like, it's ridiculous. They act like it's elementary school, and that trickles down, and lo and behold, here we are.
Yeah.
Anarchy.
No, for real. It's true, but I mean, I just try and encourage people to talk and like have the discussions,
Absolutely.
It's like, yeah, talking about race is a very difficult thing, and it has become kind of taboo in the society, and it's like, if we dismantle that, then we'll be able to get somewhere. Because there's like no reason why we shouldn't be able to talk about it.
Right. Exactly.
It's like they put up like their personal defenses because they feel like they have to defend themselves. And it's like, no, you don't. We just need to talk about it openly and honestly and see what's going on, because you have no idea. You just don't know. And that's where the misinformation comes in. It's like, you can't be made aware. You can't know that you're doing something if you don't know that you're doing it.
Indeed. Exactly. You got to have these open and uncomfortable conversations for growth. It's the only way you're going to learn and educate yourself. Exactly. And that's what we need to do, is have these open conversations.
Yep.
I never ever go down the political trail on this program, because it's usually about music. And, but the current state of affairs of where we are, and it's such a shame. There's bad apples in all colors.
Exactly.
And there's good cops and there's bad cops, and there's good people and bad people, and that's just society, and we just need to communicate.
That's all it comes down to at the end of the day. It's good people and it's bad people.
Exactly. This would be a good time to tell you that I love you, Nikki.
I love you too, man.
Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
Drinking some tea. So speaking of drinking, I got to tell everybody, I think the drunkest night I ever spent in my life was with you down in the islands.
Was it? It was down there, huh?
Do you know the night I'm referring to?
No. I don't know the night of Sam the Bullet, or I don't remember.
Oh, I could have been one night too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Where was it, in St. John or St. Croix or?
It was St. John. So we went to this bar, and you guys were playing. It was Sam, Aaron, Amy, and why did I forget? And Jarrett was there as well. And so we go to the bar, and it's one of those pour your own bars. You remember where you pour your own drinks?
Oh yeah, yep.
All right. Before that, have you ever heard of such a thing?
No, not before that place. Definitely not. Yeah, I think it was called like Charlie's something. Charlie's Tavern, like at the end of the world or something. It was something like that. I can't. But yeah, it was like you'd order like a vodka cranberry, and they sit the vodka on the bar, and then they sit the cranberry bar and give you a glass of ice and like go. They're like, have at it. So like you pour your own drinks. But that's because the mixers were more expensive than the alcohol down there.
That's right.
So they want you to drink more alcohol. So, yeah, it definitely got out of hand.
That night got out of hand. And now, the last thing I remember from that night, not only I think we crawled home or back to the hotel that night, you and I, but the last thing I remember were people were throwing joints at you. Do you remember people throwing joints at you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, good times. It's like, what happened to those days? We need to go back to that.
Yeah.
Look, everybody just needs to smoke more weed, and like we'd be all right.
Yeah, we'd be all right. I agree 100%, sister. I totally agree with you on that one. So you got into a little rage that night where you were doing like a little drum solo, and you're like, we like to puff some fucking blunts, and people were just starting to throw joints at. How cool is that? Where people are throwing joints at you?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It is.
Can you think? What would be a better thing somebody could throw at you that would be like? I can't think of any other than money.
Yeah, I mean, money, but like, I'm not sure if that's necessarily better. But I would be equally as stoked if they were throwing money at me, for sure.
We had a great week. Well, actually, that was like 3 weeks. We had like 3 weeks on those islands together, and man,
it was crazy. I mean, that's the thing, is that we've been there a couple times, and I remember celebrating my birthday there one year. And I mean, that's the thing, is that honestly those trips kind of collide, because it was just, so much drinking. There's so much drinking, and smoking is just like, man. Yeah. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was definitely a good party. I cannot drink like that ever again, but
me either.
We went hard. So hard. Remember Sam got beat up? Like he beat himself up.
Yeah, that was Sam the Bullet. Yeah. What happened? And we were like, dude, what happened? It looked like he just like got all busted up. And we were like, where are they? We'll get them. Sam the Bullet beat him up. That's who beat him up.
Yeah. The asphalt in the road beat him up. He tripped over himself and smashed his face, and then we carried him into the hotel, if you remember this, and there was like all these people getting ready for church. It was like Sunday, and we're carrying bloody ass Sam and his drunk ass into past all these people ready to go to church.
It's so horrible.
Definitely a good time.
I miss it down there. I had to go soon, and it's just beautiful down there, and the people are awesome too, and the food's great. It's just a really good time all the way around.
Yeah. And a picture recently came up of us taking that sailboat across from one island to another. That was a great day. That's a day I'll never forget.
That was a long trip too.
Yeah, it was
8 hours, I think, because we sailed from St. John to St. Croix.
Mm-hmm.
I remember almost falling off of the boat like 3 times and being freaked out, because the dude that was sailing the boat was like, yo, the water's like 3 miles deep right here. And I was like, dude, crazy. It was so blue. It was amazing.
It was.
The water I'd ever seen. And what was really funny about him is that that old adage is true, man. That dude, do you remember at 8 o'clock the night before, we were at the beach bar, and this dude was hammered. And I remember Jarrett being like, this is the guy that's sailing us tomorrow. And I was like, what's up? I was like, like, this guy is going to take us on a boat? Like, but he was great. Obviously, he got it together. But, I mean, he was drunk as a sailor, like, for real.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Drunk as a sailor. So the old adjective, there it is. I love it. Nikki, last week I was watching a podcast with you with Norwood and Pete Shapiro and a whole bunch of others, and somebody had asked you the question, who do you want to play with? And I was with a friend of mine at the time, and I go, watch, he's going to say Stevie Wonder. And you go, Stevie Wonder. And my friend looked at me and goes, I'm like, that's my girl. That's Nikki. I know Nikki. So that actually led me to this question. Put together your fantasy band. What would be your fantasy band? And I know you've got to play with so many greats, but who would be in your key positions?
Man, it's a really tough question, because it depends on like what the band would actually be, that like what I would want it to actually sound like. But I have actually put some dream bands together.
Yeah, no doubt. The homies.
Yeah, the homies. That's like one of them. But as far as like a lineup is concerned, something that like I always wanted to do, I'll say this. Something I always wanted to do was like have a band with Bootsy and like Dave Grohl. Like I know that's completely random, but like for some reason I'm like, that would be sick. was like, I love Dave Grohl. He's like, well, one of my heroes, and Bootsy Collins too. It's just like the depth of groove there would just be incredible, And then me and Dave can switch, I can play some guitar or whatever. Bootsy plays drums too. A lot of people don't know that. He played drums on a lot of those P-Funk records that he was playing bass on. So that's like a dream trio.
Dude. How about this? Who's your Mount Rushmore of drummers?
Oh, Mount Rushmore of drummers. Okay. I mean, how many people is that? 5?
I think it's 5. Let's go 6. How about we go 6 with you? You get an extra face.
All right, we'll go 6. All right. So Dennis Chambers, Horacio El Negro Hernandez, John Bonham. Tony Williams. Duh. And this would be like a wild card, probably. Mike Mitchell. Which I know a lot of people don't know who this kid is, but he's otherworldly. I think he's like 24 or 25 now.
Really?
A monster. Insane. One of my favorite drummers right now.
Who's he with?
Well, he actually has his own band. It's called Black Dynamite. And then he played with Stanley Clark for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's insane. But I mean, there's a lot more,
Of course.
Due to his way up there. And I know. There's a lot of drummers that I love, and there's a lot of drummers I love that like people don't know or have never even heard of. Brazilian cats and Afro-Cuban cats. I love Antonio Sanchez. That's another one. But yeah, I could. Yeah, Mount Rushmore for me would be like 80 people. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be a family portrait.
Well,
there's
probably like the single greatest influence, and Dennis Chambers. Like those two dudes are like my dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever got to hang out with Dennis Chambers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I actually have one of his snare drums over there. He gave me like this prototype that he made like years ago, which is super awesome. Because I never thought that I would like hang out with him, but more or less be we're friends. You know what I mean? Which is like crazy. Like whenever he calls me, I'm like, oh my god. Every single time, I'm like, it's Dennis. So it's great.
That's awesome. Is there anybody that you've played with before that you've just been like humming out, like I can't believe I pinch me moment type of thing?
Well, the first time that I played with Maceo Parker, yeah,
that would freeze me up too.
Oh my god! But then, like I joined his band, so but still, every time I'm still like, "What? I can't believe this! I can't believe that!" Like I play with the greatest alto saxophone player of our time, the guy that was there and like helped invent funk music,
Indeed.
The sound. So that's definitely one of them. Trying to think if there's another one. Oh, yeah, Verdine White.
Ooh.
He came to a homie's gig.
Really?
He came to my gig and played bass, and I was just like, "What? It's Verdine White." I'm the biggest Earth, Wind, and Fire fan.
Me too.
Probably my favorite band. Safe to say. I have a couple of others, but like that's, if I had to pick one, it would probably be them. And I know the guitar player, Serge D. He plays with Earth, Wind, and Fire, And so I actually went to school with Philip Bailey Jr. We reconnected a couple years ago, playing in Boston, and I was at the Newport Jazz Festival. And my friend that lives out there was like, "Yo, are you going to see Earth, Wind, and Fire tomorrow?" And I was like, "What? No, I didn't know." He's like, "They're at the Garden." And I was like, "Oh, shit, I got to go." So I hit him up, and he got me, a ticket and a pass. And I went there and met the drummer, John Paris, and Serge, who was playing guitar, one of the guitar players, and we got to talking and just like connected, And then they went to New York. They played in New York like a couple of days later, and I was supposed to have a gig with Maceo in Jersey, and it was like at an amphitheater, outside amphitheater, and it got rained out, and so they canceled the gig that day. And I had been hit up by BBC to like do an interview, and I was supposed to do it like on Tuesday, like the next day, and they called me and was like, "Oh, can you do it to?" I called them because the gig was canceled, and I was like, "Yo, I could do the interview today," and they were like, "Great, just come at like 6 p.m. or whatever." So I get to the interview, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we just had a great interview with Earth, Wind, and Fire." And I was like, "What?" Like right before I walked in, I was like, "Yeah, like, for Dean and Philip and all of them, and we've got an extra ticket if you want to go to the show tonight." And I was like, "Yes!" So I actually got to see them twice, like within 1 week, within a couple days of each other. And at the show, like, they had no idea they were bringing the biggest Earth, Wind, and Fire fan to the show. So it was really funny because, like, we get there, we got passes and tickets, and we get in our seats, and they're just kind of sitting down. And I'm, like, on my feet, like, singing every word, like, singing every song. And they're just looking at me like, wow, like, she really is a fan. And then, like, they were jet lagged, so, like, they took off. So then I ended up, hanging out with Serge and them again, and we got to really connect. And I told Serge, like, "Man, I'd really love to play whenever we can." Awesome. So when I started the Homies gig, he lives in LA, so I called to come, to be one of the guitarists. And I mean, the band is like, it's probably like a 15-piece band. I've got
The Homies.
Yeah, the Homies.
Yeah.
And rotating cast. It's pretty much like whoever is in town,
Yeah.
And normally it's like 2 keys, 2 guitars, a couple of bassists. They don't play at the same time, but they rotate. And me, normally 3 or 4 singers, and then 3 or 4 horn players, 4-piece horn section, and then percussion. So it's like a very big band. And Serge, told Verdine, he was like, "Yo, I'm playing this gig tonight at the Mint. You probably will like it because we're playing like all these like old school, funk and R&B tunes, but like deep cuts. I mean, I make sure to like try and play deep cuts or cuts that like people have never heard before live, or like they would never have been played before live, and he came to the gig, and he the entire time, and towards the end of the second set, he was like, "I'll play." And he got up and played Shining Star, and like I sang it. And that was a moment that was very important to me, and definitely like, oh my God, because it was my gig. It wasn't like he came and saw me play with Beyonce. It was like my name was on the marquee, so he came to see us play. So that was another moment of like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah.
The guy, the bass player in the greatest band ever, came to my show and played.
Is that one of those nights where you can't sleep at night because you're just so amped up that happened?
Oh yeah, I didn't go to sleep because I actually got on a plane and flew back home. But but yeah, I mean there wasn't sleep. I was like, I called my dad. You know, my dad was freaking out. I was like, dude, you came to my gig. You know,
That's so cool. How do those homie gigs go for you? Like you give them a set list ahead of time? Is there improv? Is it like I would love to check that out.
basically, I make a song list and I send out songs. I try and give people as much time as possible to learn the material because a lot of it's difficult. But I send it out maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the gig, and everyone like learns it. And then I have shout out to Enrique Sanchez, it's my homie. He makes the horn charts, and we pretty much like it's kind of like I call it on the fly as far as the form is concerned. You know, it's like we'll do verse, chorus, bridge, and then like we'll open it up for solos, and I'll just point to somebody and figure out an ending. You know, it's like a lot of it is planned, but then there is some improv as well. But that's just mainly in the solos, you know. But it's just fun. It's just fun, and it's cool because it's always like a history lesson. You know, I like to inform audiences and musicians alike on like new music. But it's old. It's just something that you've never heard before. So I really enjoy that. I enjoy crate digging, as you would call it. Just like looking for music that I've never heard before that's incredible. And then we just try and play it. Like that's what the homies is. Like you'll never hear us play, Brick House or anything like that. Like you won't know the songs unless you're a deep diver like I am, you know?
Right on. Are you a vinyl collector? Do you collect vinyl?
I do not.
No.
I do not collect vinyl because I made that conscious decision years ago because I would not like have a house or a home if I collected vinyl. I would spend way too much money on it because it's a rabbit hole. I spend way too much money on like gear and like I already have things that I spend way too much money on, so it's like not one of those things. Especially, just because I get it, I totally do, and I would want to. If I were rich, I would have a record collection, but I am not, so I don't. Like it's awesome to listen to things on vinyl, but I know myself, and I would just buy everything all the time, and I can't afford to do that. So I just look, I look for producers and like look on. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube, like obviously they've added stuff to Spotify and iTunes. It's like I've looked for things that like haven't been there, and then 2 or 3 months later it's there. But like YouTube is like a really great source for that because people post whole albums, and most of the time you can find some rare stuff on YouTube. So that's kind of like where I do my digging.
Are you heavy on Spotify? Do you listen to it a lot? Use it? Do you have playlists?
I use it for work purposes. But yes, I do have Spotify, but I'm like, I don't really like Spotify because they're raping us,
Right. Agreed. Absolutely. Well, we won't get into that subject then. But yeah, it's true. Are you a gearhead? You collect a lot of stuff then, as far as like instruments, and that's your bag?
I am an instrument collector, but not really a collector.
Right.
Like I buy it to play it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I have Like, my room is a little crazy right now because it's, like, not organized or anything. But, like, I've got guitars and basses and amps and all kinds of stuff. This is just one, you know, this is, like, one room. But I have a bunch of stuff. I have, like, a lot of guitars in the living room and in other places.
Many, many years of collecting, that's for damn sure. And
Like, this is not even half of my drums, you know what I mean? It's like, it won't fit in here.
nice. What's the plan for after we can finally come out of this fucking lockdown? Is like, you got Nth Power plans? I mean, what's happening with your careers? Do you have
That's the thing that it's just up in the air. Like, we do have gigs on the books.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've had gigs on the books like this whole entire time, so it's just whenever, you know, clubs decide or whenever it's safe, yes, we will be touring.
Mm-hmm.
And we will be touring hard, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's crazy because this year for us was we had a great schedule. You know, this summer, like, we were coming up your way. You know, we were gonna play like the Rochester Jazz Festival, and like we had a bunch of like jazz festivals lined up, and you know, Electric Forest and Peach Fest, and like we had like all, you know, it was gonna be a good run for us this summer, but it's crazy. Just, you know, it's June. It's June.
I know.
My last gig was March 7th.
Mm-hmm.
That was my last gig, and I never ever would have imagined that like this would be like this, you know. And it's like, honestly, at this point, I mean, I went through the itching of like, man, like, I need to play a gig, I need to play a gig, I need to play a gig. Don't get me wrong, like, I really, really do need to play a gig. But it's like I've learned how to, like, you know, quell that for a moment with just trying to get better at recording and getting sounds and stuff like that. But, you know, I don't even know what that's going to look like once it starts back up again.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, how many people are going to be able to come? How many people are going to be scared to come? How many people are going to, you know, come anyway? And what is that going to look like? No idea. You know.
And you're one of those bands with your message and your positivity and the way you guys spread love that need to be heard more so now than ever, I feel. Definitely.
And I feel that as well. We all do. We're just like sitting on the sidelines like, man, you know, like, this really sucks. Like, we really want to be out there spreading love, you know.
Yep.
But I'm trying to do it from here, you know.
Yeah, girl.
we're trying to do it from here. I actually started something similar to this every Monday at 4 p.m. It's called Strange Fruit, and I started it with one of my best friends. Her name's Kat Rodriguez, and she was the tenor saxophone player in the Beyonce band. And, you know, we're just talking, and we're like, man, you know, we should just, you know, talk. Let's just talk. We can talk about anything, you know. And originally, obviously, it started out talking about music. We had Aaron Spears on the show. I think it was last week. And earlier this week, just because of the events that have happened, you know, we have started talking about, you know, race in music. And we wanted to just open up the conversation like we were talking about earlier. You know, the race conversation. It's like so hard to have, but we want to open it up and have it with all colors and all races. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's another problem. Is just like, people are so divided. They're in their groups. These people talk about it over here, and these people talk about it over here. But really, we need to talk about it together, so that like something can happen. You know?
It's like high school.
Yeah, totally. It's crazy.
It is.
Like, you grow up and you think that we'd be beyond that.
Totally.
You know?
Plug the show again. When is that? Mondays when?
It's Mondays at 4 p.m. EST, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Cool.
We're thinking about changing the time, though, because, there are some people that are working. I am not one of them, but...
Same.
Exactly, But there's people that are working and, they want to watch the show, and they're like, it's better if it's later. So I think we might change the time to, 6 p.m. But, I mean, we have a page. It's just crowdcast.io/strangefruit. And people can go there and see. Our episodes are actually posted up there. The past episodes are up there, so people can watch them if they want. And, yeah, that's about it,
Awesome. Very good. And hopefully we'll get a powerful Nth Power album out of all this quarantine bullshit, right?
Yes. There is an Nth Power album coming, for sure.
Awesome.
It's in the mastering stages right now. So, the music is already done. It's already done. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Nikki, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy day to hang out with me, and it's so great to see your face and smiling face, and I look at you, I have so many great memories, and I love you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for everything, and stay creative and keep doing what you're doing. Keep spreading love and educate people. Have these conversations, and if you need anything as far as getting your platform out, please hit me up too. We'll spread it out there too, because it's super important to have these conversations.
Sure. Definitely.
Yeah. Much love to you, Nikki. Also, much love to my sponsors. I got to give a shout out to EJA Moving Services, the professional movers. When it's time to move and relocate, hit them up at ejamoving.com. Big ups to Utica Coffee, Saranac Brewery, attorney Dave Longaretta, and a big shout out to Todd over at the Disruption Studio. We're always holding it down every day. Todd, I don't know what I do without you, pal. So thanks for all that you do around Disruption. Also, tonight, 6 o'clock, live on the D, Wrestle Fandom Radio. I'm rocking the shirt today.
Yeah.
Get your sports entertainment fix with Garrett and Stu tonight at 6 o'clock. And then tomorrow, No Time for Nonsense features Louis Vito, Olympic snowboarder Louis Vito. So that's going to be on tomorrow at 7 o'clock with No Time for Nonsense. You can follow, subscribe, all things Disruption Network. Share this platform right now, please, people over there on Facebook, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Peace out.